So today we're going to be talking about all the new zombies in Plants vs. Zombies Journey to the West. And I gotta make a few disclaimers. I'm not going to go into the whole, were these in PvZ2 or anything like that. Because I'm just strictly going to cover them of who they were and what they did in PvZ Journey to the West. So let's get started. Now, the first zombie we'll be talking about today is called the Flying Imp. Now, what this guy would do, it's really not that interesting, but in this game, you would actually be rewarded with 1 to 3 stars, depending on how good you played the level. Sounds very familiar, I know, but what this guy would do is he would try to fly to the very back of your defense, and if you didn't kill him in time, he would actually steal a star from you for not killing him, and you would get 2 stars or less, regardless of how well you did, because he stole one of your stars. Yeah, he's really not that interesting, but his description in the almanac is hilarious. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically what they mean in it is that him and his bird are both thieves, and they try to conceal their identity, but because they concealed it so bad, the police is after them or something, and he just says, by the way, he doesn't eat vegetables at the end. That's just the most random thing ever you could say. But yeah, that's Flying Imp. Now, the next zombie for today is called the Spider Devil Zombie. Now, I guess this zombie was a boss for the War of the Spider-Woman world. And yeah, we're probably going to talk about that world in a future video. I'm planning a video where we talk about just all the worlds in this game. I have an upcoming video about that. But, what this zombie would do is it would, launch spider webs at the plants, and it would stun them. And the plants just wouldn't do anything. But you could use blowover to blow away the webs, and then they'd be back in business. So, yeah, that's pretty cool to me, but it's a little bit unfair for the plants. Because, you just have to bring in blowover regardless. Or, just bring in a squash or something to kill it immediately. So, yeah, it seems a little bit unfair, but, it's cool, so I can't complain. And once again, the description of this zombie in the almanac is just weird as fuck. It says 7 female zombies that believe they are fine, but in reality, not even Crazy Dave likes their looks. What? Okay? I mean, I don't know. I think the descriptions for these are just so bad, they're funny. The descriptions in the almanac are just, they're bad, but they're funny, so, yeah. Now, the next zombie we'll be talking about today is the Skeleton Demon Zombie. Now, I really like the design of her. Her design is amazing, but she's not really that interesting. She's just a disco zombie boss, and she was the boss in the night levels, I'm pretty sure. And she's just dances around, and she can actually move around the map, unlike the disco zombie. She can move lanes and stuff. And she can summon backup dancers, just like the disco zombie, but for some reason, when she started losing health, she would start some, air swimming thing, and then she just quit doing it. I don't know what that was about, but what I really like about this zombie is her description. Basically, what it says is she could shapeshift into anything, which is weird because she's never seen shapeshifting in her boss fight, but what it means is none of her shapeshifting abilities can match her love for music, because she loves music and dancing, and she is just as famous as the disco zombie, if not more. And that's hilarious to me. I don't know why I got it. It made me laugh so much, but it did. But yeah, that's the Skeleton Demon Zombie. It's actually pretty cool in my opinion. Now, the next zombie is called the Yellow Browsed Gargantuar, and it looks really weird to me, but he's actually kind of cool. He would spawn zombies in the lanes, and you could only damage him when he was off his cloud. And he would be like, he would spawn a lot of zombies, and he would be in his cloud like most of the time. And like when he was off the cloud, you'd probably have to like slow him down or something to make him take more damage. And that's pretty cool to me. And what's really cool about him is when he lost like half his health, he would actually get angry and look kind of like a Giga Gargantuar, and he would start spawning more zombies and attack more often. So yeah, I think he's pretty cool, but his description in the almanac says that he may be big and buff on the outside, but he actually has the mind of a child. And he fakes voodoo and stuff, so yeah, that's the Yellow Browsed Gargantuar. He's pretty cool in my opinion, but he also looks weird too, so yeah. But whenever there's a new Gargantuar in a PvZ game, there always has to be a new imp to go along with him. That's why we have Red Boy Imp. Now, yes, that's a really weird name, but he's actually pretty cool. When you shot stuff at him, it would knock back at the plants. Like, he would take damage from it, but it would knock back at the plants anyway. So, yeah, that's pretty cool to me, but it's also strange because, like, I mean, he just looks weird. And, like, he's not really that interesting. He can move around the map and stuff, kind of like the hero plants do. But he's kind of just meh. He's just not that interesting. And I looked in the wiki, and unfortunately, he doesn't have a description in the almanac, sadly. So, yeah, there just really isn't much to say about Red Boy Imp, unfortunately. Now, the next zombie for today is called Ox Demon King Zombot. Now, yeah, that's a really weird name, but he's actually pretty cool looking in my opinion. Now, what he does is he's basically a normal Dr. Zomboss on steroids. What he does is he just has a lot more health and he has a lot more defense, and it takes a lot longer for him to kill him, and he doesn't duck down for as long as the normal Zomboss does, which makes him a lot more, like it's a lot longer, takes a lot longer to take him out, and that's pretty good to me, and I like that. And what's really cool about him is that he's actually immune to explosives. Like, when you set one off, he'll, like, go back up in the air immediately to avoid it. And they're still kind of useful on him because it kind of prevents him from taking out a fireball or an ice ball, but at that point you can just use it on the ball, I think. So, yeah. But he's pretty cool, and I like him not, like, being susceptible to the bombs, because that's normally what makes the Zomboss fight so easy, is that you can just keep spamming jalapenos when you're fighting him, and he'll die sooner than later. So, yeah, that's something I like about him, and his description's really good. It says something like he got tired of making boring inventions and stuff, so he started to make, like, higher quality stuff, and he got, like, inspiration from a Chinese novel called Journey to the East, which is a reference to how this game was inspired off a Chinese novel called Journey to the West, and this is what he came up with, big ol' Zombot, which is pretty cool to me, so yeah. Now, the next zombie for today is called the Tortoise Zombie. Now, this zombie was actually pretty tanky. It would have the same amount as a Gargantuar, like the same amount of health, and it took a while for the plants to kill it, obviously. And I think it, like, ate pretty fast or something, I don't know, but it did have a weakness. If you hit it with a, like the sea star fruit. I forgot what it was called, but if you hit it with a sea star fruit, it would fall on its back and all its armor would break off, which is pretty cool to me, and it would be stunned for a little while. And once that happened, it had the same health as a basic zombie. So, yeah. It's just became piss weak after that. So, yeah. And the description of him in the almanac is also pretty good. It says that he was obsessed with turtles or something, and he got in one of their shells, and he finally got in one of their shells, and he could never get out. And that's why he's looks like this. So, yeah, that's Tortoise Zombie. Really weird name in my opinion, and really weird design. Now, the next zombie for today is the Lockster Runner Zombie. Now, what this zombie would do is it would just run really fast. That's really it. But it could be taken out really fast with straight shooters, I guess. It's really not that interesting. It was just a basic zombie that ran faster, but it reminded me of this monstrosity from that fake PvZ2 leak that got released in 2010. And yeah, maybe we'll make a video about that someday, but probably not, because there are already too many videos about it. But it was really weird, so maybe a video about it will come out one day. But there really isn't much to say about this zombie. It didn't have a description in the almanac either, sadly, so yeah. On the topic of sea life, this is the crab zombie. Now, what this would do is it would be in the underwater levels, and it would avoid, like, straight shooters and stuff, because it's short, and it would primarily attack oxygen algae, which were the lily pads of the underwater levels. So, yeah, that's really all it did, but its description is pretty decent. It says that he loves his crab shell so much he forgot his disadvantage in height, even though it's an advantage for him because he allows him to avoid straight shooters and stuff. So, yeah, that's really weird, but yeah, that's Crab Imp. Now, the next zombie for today is the Fish Thrower Imp. Now, this zombie primarily attacked the water gun grass, and that was the puff shroom of the underwater levels, and it would just, like, throw his fish onto the thing, like its shooter, and it wouldn't be able to shoot unless you, like, I think you could get the fish off somehow, but yeah, his description is also really good. It says that the imp, he used to be on the Gargantuar's back, and he was, like, tired of just being thrown to the back of the defense, and he wanted to be in the front. So he got a fish and went underwater so he can experience what it was like to be big like the Gargantuar. And now he's, like, he can't even hold the fish, so he throws it and it lands on the oxygen algae. I mean, the water gun grass. But, yeah, that's the Fish Thrower Imp. Now, this next zombie is called Fisherman Zombie. Now, unfortunately, this is just a reskin of the Spider Devil Zombie that we talked about a long time ago now. I don't even know how long that was. But, yeah, you can go back to that segment. What that does, it does the exact same thing this does, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it doesn't have a description either, which is really sad because I bet this thing's description would be really good. And I like the design of this guy too. He looks normal. Like, he looks like something that would be in the normal games, you know? I mean, I like the Spider Devil Zombies design too, but I like this one more. It just makes more sense for a PvZ game. But, yeah. Now it's time for the last zombie today. And what better way to conclude the list but with a Zombot? It's the Dragon King Zombie. Now, what this would do is it would put its claws everywhere and it would squash a bunch of the plants. And it could spawn in portals, which made it harder for the plants to shoot in some certain places, so you would have to plant extra plants, and just like the other Zombot in this game, it was immune to explosives. So yeah, it's a pretty cool zombie, and it had a good description. It says Zomboss is just pissed. Like, he's tired of always losing, so he's invented this thing for underwater usage, because he's also tired of land. So he's invented this for underwater usage. So now he can go underwater, and maybe it'll be easier to get the brains underwater. So yeah, that's pretty cool to me. But yeah. Now, normally I end these videos with just the subscribe logo in the middle, and I go like, oh, subscribe to my channel, blah, blah, blah. But I'm actually going to do something kind of different for the outro this time around. When I first started doing research for this video, I didn't realize how weird this game was. I didn't. Like, I didn't realize how much weird stuff was in this game until I looked at the wiki and watched a bunch of gameplay videos that were super old. And yeah, I just fully realized that this game is really strange. Because, like, it's based off a Chinese novel. Like, what do you expect? And that's kind of why I like this. It's so weird. And I almost want to download it somehow. I'm gonna find a way to play this game and maybe even make a live stream out of it or something. But I think this game is charming because I don't think PopCap, even with all the weird shit PopCap makes now, I don't think they would allow their most popular game, Plants vs. Zombies, to have a spin-off title based off a Chinese novel. Like, I just don't think they would let that slide nowadays. So, yeah. I really like this game, to be honest, and comment down below which one of these zombies is your favorite, and have a great day, and comment, like, and subscribe.